In just hours, former President Bill Clinton will sit down for a closed-door deposition. He's been through that before, over his ties to Jeffrey Epstein.
This comes after former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton testified that she and her husband have no information on Epstein's crimes.
Madeleine Rivera joins us live in Washington with the latest on the investigation. Good morning, Maddie.
Good morning. This marks the first time a former president has been compelled to appear before Congress, and it comes after the House Oversight Committee voted to hold the Clintons in contempt of Congress in connection with their probe into the Epstein case. Former President Bill Clinton could face some tough questions from the panel today. He was featured in several photos in the Epstein files, some showing him with celebrities and another one of him in a hot tub. You see it there. But he has never been accused of wrongdoing, and Hillary says she and her husband did not know of Epstein's criminal activities.
I answered every one of their questions as fully as I could, based on what I knew, and what I knew is what I said in my statement this morning. I never met Jeffrey Epstein, never had any connection or communication with him. I knew Ghislaine Maxwell casually as an acquaintance. It was disappointing that they refused to hold a public hearing, so I wouldn't have to be out here characterizing it for you. You could have seen it for yourself.
House Oversight Chair James Comer says they wanted to know more about the Clintons' relationship with Ghislaine Maxwell after she attended their daughter Chelsea's wedding.
Why was Ghislaine Maxwell invited to your daughter Chelsea Clinton's wedding in 2010? She'd already been mentioned in a civil lawsuit by Virginia Giuffre before that. Jeffrey Epstein had already been convicted before that.
She came as the plus one, the guest of someone who was invited.
This is all expected to start in just a few hours. Comer and Oversight Republicans are expected to make statements at around 10:30 a.m. and former President Bill Clinton's deposition begins at 11.
I wish the reporters would have said, well, she was a plus one.
For who? Yeah, who is the one?
Maybe they'll find out more today, you guys. Yeah.
Maybe
All right. Thanks, Maddie.
You got it.
All right, so let's talk about how do you think that'll go?
Oh, today, Bill Clinton? Well, he has admitted that he was on the plane 4 times. Now, we all know just because you knew Jeffrey Epstein or you might have gone to his house or you might have hung out with him or been on his plane doesn't mean you're guilty of pedophilia. A lot of people are saying they were friends with him before all of this came out. Some people are in hot water because they still hung out with him after they knew.
Well, it's the pedophilia, and there's also the offering of women, which is essentially prostitution that was going on that island as well. And the question is, you know, Bill Clinton seemed, if you look at all the documents, to be the worst offender of all the high-profile people. And I know this is what many thought would be the trap to try to get President Trump to testify. But as you noted, Brian, whether it was the president kicking him out of the club or in the documents reveal that Epstein was trying to go after the president, doesn't seem to be a series of connections there.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to find out. They're going to have that picture that he's got to justify with him in the hot tub. They're going to have the picture in the silk pajamas. He's going to say, what's going on here? And they're going to have backup information
in
to
a
it.
Swimming pool.
And this is going to be very difficult for him to explain because, like Bill Gates, people were warning him, you know, you want to de-escalate this relationship. Was he just a playboy who was in high finance and he's now out of office? Or was it more? We know about the painting of him in a blue dress that was within Epstein's plane. So what was going? I mean, he was close enough to do that. So he's got embarrassing questions to answer, and we're going to see some of these tapes. These tapes are going to be released eventually.
But I will say, to be fair, at some point, either Congress is going to have to do a criminal referral, or the DOJ is going to have to charge someone. The Federal Bureau of Investigation isn't a dossier or opposition research agency. They're an investigative agency. So if you got evidence that someone has committed a crime, you charge the person. So if y'all think there are people in here that have committed crimes, then you need to charge them, not just release the documents. If they just release these documents with no intention of charging anyone,
it's embarrassing.
That's egregious.
Well, you'd have to prove that they did something wrong. Like, that's why they arrested Epstein. That's why they arrested Ghislaine Maxwell. And there have been so many documentaries about it, about bringing underage girls that were in high school. I think the youngest was like 14, to their house in Palm Beach, and she was recruiting them, and other girls at the high school were recruiting their friends from a very poor neighborhood. They were going on to Palm Beach Island, and things were happening to these young girls underage. So that's what he was charged with. If that's happening to some of these high-profile people and they knew that these girls were underage and they were having sexual relations with the girls, then that's a different story. They do need to be charged.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.